The space station hung quietly above the blue and green planet of Vesa. Ships from many different worlds came and went every day. People, aliens, and robots moved about with busy steps. Some talked in strange languages. Others shouted orders. The sound of engines, voices, and machines filled the air. It was a place where many stories began and ended. Near Dock Gate 12, a small figure stood alone. The figure was not human. It had tall, thin limbs and soft silver skin that glowed faintly in the dim light. Its eyes were large and blue, shining like stars. The alien's face showed pain and sadness. Tears rolled down its cheeks in silence. The alien did not cry out loud. It just stood there, trembling slightly. Its translator device, which usually helped it speak with others, was broken. The small machine hung on a thin strap around its neck, its light flickering weakly. Many people passed by without noticing the alien. Some looked at it but quickly looked away. The station was full of travelers and workers. No one had time to stop. No one asked if the alien needed help. The alien's name was Rella. She had traveled far to reach this station. Her journey had been long and difficult. She had crossed many star systems and left behind her home in the nebula cluster, a place full of glowing gas clouds and quiet planets. But Rella had a mission and she would not give up. A human father, Jonas, walked nearby. He was tall and strong with dark hair and kind eyes. His small son, Milo, walked beside him. Milo was curious and full of energy. He had bright brown eyes and a round face that always smiled. As Jonas and Milo passed near Dock Gate 12, Milo stopped suddenly. He looked up with wide eyes and pointed at the silent alien. "That's my mother," Milo said without fear. Jonas stopped too. He looked confused. "Milo, what do you mean?" he asked quietly. Milo did not take his eyes off Rella. "That is my mother," he repeated, his voice steady. Jonas frowned and looked at the alien carefully. Rella looked back at them with a soft sadness in her glowing eyes. She tried to speak, but only broken sounds came from her damaged translator. A small crowd began to gather. Workers slowed down. Security officers noticed the strange scene. People whispered to each other. An alien with glowing skin crying alone was not something they saw every day. Jonas held Milo close. "Are you sure, Milo?" he asked gently. "You do not even know her." Milo nodded. "She found me when I was little. She took care of me. She said I was her light." Rella's tears grew larger. She stepped forward slowly, her voice coming through the translator in quiet words. "I raised him. I kept him safe when no one else would." The crowd became silent. No one knew what to say. One of the security officers spoke into a communicator. "We have an unknown alien here claiming to be the guardian of this human child," the officer said. "Requesting assistance and verification." Jonas looked at Rella, then at Milo. His heart beat faster. He had been searching for his nephew for many years. A child who was lost when a ship crashed near a far planet. Could this be the same boy? Rella spoke again, her voice trembling. "I carried him through the stars. I want to bring him home." Milo reached out and held her hand. The small silver fingers fit perfectly with his small human ones. The connection between them was clear and strong. The station's translator experts quickly worked to fix Rella's device. Soon her voice became clearer. "My name is Rella," she said. "I am from a world called Alera in the Nebula Cluster. 5 years ago I found this boy alone after a ship crashed. I raised him as my own." Jonas looked at Milo. "Do you remember any of this?" he asked softly. Milo nodded. "She told me stories. She taught me kindness. She is my mother." The crowd listened with growing interest. Rella's story was strange, but touched everyone's hearts. The station's council decided to take Milo and Rella for further questioning. They wanted to understand if the boy truly belonged to Rella and what should happen next. Jonas agreed to help. He wanted to find the truth too. As they walked away from Dock Gate 12, Milo looked back once. He saw the busy station behind him full of strangers. But now, with Rella by his side, he felt hope. Hope that someone would finally listen. Hope that he was not alone. The small room in the station's council building was cold and bright. Walls were white and smooth with large windows that looked out to the stars. Inside, Rella sat quietly. Her silver skin glowed softly under the bright lights. Milo sat next to her, holding her hand tightly. Jonas stood near the door, watching carefully. Council members filled the room. They were from different species. Some had many eyes, others had feathers or scales, but they all looked serious. They had many questions. The leader of the council was a tall, wise-looking alien named Marin. Marin's deep green eyes scanned the room as he spoke. "We are here to understand the truth. This boy claims to be human. The woman claims to have raised him. We must know what happened." Milo looked up at Marin. "I remember," he said. "I was on a big ship that crashed. I was very small. Rella found me. She helped me. She loved me." Marin nodded slowly. "Can you tell us what you remember?" Milo closed his eyes. "I remember the fire. The ship fell from the sky. It was loud and scary. Then I was alone. I was cold." Rella's voice was soft but firm. "I found him in the wreckage. His cries called to me. I took him home to my village. I fed him, cared for him. I taught him how to live. He grew strong." A council member with long blue feathers leaned forward. "How do you communicate? How did you teach a child from a different species?" Rella smiled sadly. "We learned together. I taught him my language and feelings. He taught me his. We did not need many words. Love is a language everyone understands." Jonas stepped forward. "I have been searching for this boy for 5 years. My nephew went missing in a crash on a distant planet. The details match. Milo is family. I want to help." One council member with many eyes spoke. "We will run DNA tests. We must be sure. There are many lost children in the stars. We cannot decide without proof." Milo looked at Jonas. "Is this true? Am I really family?" Jonas smiled and nodded. "Yes, Milo, you belong with us." The room grew quiet as a technician entered with a small machine. Milo sat still as the scan began. Lights moved over his skin, reading information hidden in his cells. Minutes passed slowly. The council waited. Finally, the machine beeped. The technician spoke. "The child is human. The DNA matches the family record of Jonas's nephew. This is the same boy." Marin smiled gently. "The proof is clear, but questions remain. Why did Rella bring Milo here now? Why did she not contact us earlier?" Rella's eyes grew sad again. "I wanted to protect him. My people did not trust outsiders. I feared for his safety. I kept him hidden. But Milo grew older and wanted answers. He asked about his family. I could no longer hide." Jonas placed a hand on Rella's shoulder. "You did what any parent would do. You saved him." Another council member asked, "What about the ship crash? Can you tell us more?" Rella nodded. "The ship was attacked near Alera. We found no survivors except Milo. I carried him through many dangers to keep him safe." Milo's small voice broke the silence. "She is my mother, no matter what others say." The council members exchanged looks. Some were moved by the story. Others still had doubts. Marin raised his hand. "We will grant temporary guardianship to both Jonas and Rella while we continue the investigation. Milo will stay with those who care for him." Relief filled Milo's face. He squeezed Rella's hand tightly. Jonas looked at the pair. "We will do everything to protect him." As they left the council room, Milo looked up at the stars shining beyond the window. His heart was full of hope and fear. The journey was far from over. But for the first time in years, he was not alone. The small quarters on the station were quiet now. Milo sat on the floor, playing with a small metal toy ship Jonas had given him. His eyes were bright with questions, but his mind was full of confusion. Rella watched him carefully. She wanted to say more but struggled with the words. Jonas sat nearby, tired but hopeful. He had spent many years searching for Milo. Now, after all this time, he was closer than ever to finding the full truth. That evening, Rella told her story again. This time, Milo listened with wide eyes, wanting to understand everything. "In my world, Alera, the sky glows with colors you have never seen," Rella began. "Our people live peacefully inside the nebula cluster. We do not travel far, but we watch the stars carefully." She paused, her glowing eyes growing soft. "One day, a ship fell from the sky. It was a firebird shining bright. I heard a cry in the wreckage. I found a small child alone and scared." Milo looked up. "That was me," Rella nodded. "I could not leave you there. The others in my village were afraid. They did not trust the stars or the ships from outside, but I held you close and promised to keep you safe." Jonas's voice was gentle. "What happened after the crash?" Rella took a deep breath. "The Firebird was attacked. We believe it was a pirate raid. The pilot and crew were lost. Only the child survived. I could not tell anyone. It was too dangerous. Milo clutched her hand tightly. I remember the stories you told me. You said I was special. Rella smiled softly. You are special, Milo. You carry hope between worlds. I taught you kindness and courage. I wanted you to grow strong. Jonas stood and looked out the window. I want to know everything. We will find the truth together. The next day, the council called them again. This time, they brought records and old data from the crash site near Alara. An elder from Rella's people came with them. Her name was Nira. She had soft purple skin and eyes full of wisdom. Nira spoke carefully. The crash was a tragedy. Our people mourned. But the child's survival is a miracle. She looked at Rella with respect. You broke the rules by hiding the boy. But you saved a life. The council listened closely. More questions came. Where was Milo's real family? What danger still lurked in the stars? Jonas answered, Milo's family thought he was lost forever. We want to bring him home. But we also want to protect Rella. She is family too. The room grew quiet. The truth was clear, but the future was uncertain. Later, Milo asked Rella, Will I have 2 homes now? One with you and one with Jonas? Rella smiled. Yes, Milo, you belong to both of us. Love is not just one place. It is many, Jonas nodded. We will protect you no matter what. As the days passed, the story spread through the station. People listened and shared their own stories of loss and hope. Slowly, a new feeling grew, a connection between species and worlds. Rella and Milo began to explore the station. They saw the markets full of strange foods and colors. Milo laughed as he tried new treats. Rella watched him with pride. Jonas helped Milo learn the human language better. They talked about the stars and what the future might bring. At night, Milo looked out at the stars and dreamed. He thought of Alara and the nebula's glow. He thought of the Firebird and the journey ahead. The truth was no longer a mystery. It was a bridge between 2 worlds, held together by a mother's love and a family's hope. The station was alive with whispers and questions. Some spoke with kindness, others with doubt. Not everyone believed Rella's story. Some thought she was lying. Others worried what it meant if an alien raised a human child. At the council hall, a new meeting began. This time, the atmosphere was tense. The council members sat with furrowed brows. They faced a problem they did not want but could not ignore. Marin, the council leader, opened the discussion. We have proof that Milo is human. We know Rella raised him. But what does this mean for his future? Where should he live? Who should care for him? One council member spoke, her voice cold. We cannot trust a foreigner with a human child. He should be with humans only. Rella's people may have good hearts, but they are different. Another council member nodded. We must follow the laws. The child's safety is our first concern. Without more proof, we cannot allow Rella full guardianship. Jonas felt a heavy weight in his chest. He stood. Milo's safety is my concern too, but Rella is his mother in every way that matters. She raised him. She protected him when no one else did. We cannot separate them. A human official spoke up. We understand, Jonas, but the law is clear. We must be cautious. Milo should stay with his human family while we investigate. Milo sat quietly nearby. He heard the voices but did not understand all the reasons. He only knew he did not want to be apart from Rella. Outside the council hall, many station citizens gathered. Some held signs supporting Rella and Milo. Others feared what might happen next. Milo's friend, a small alien named Tico, came to him. Tico had green skin and large ears. Milo, I will stay with you no matter what, he said. Rella is your mother. That is enough, Milo smiled. Thank you, Tico. I am scared. The days passed slowly. The council continued to argue. Some wanted to send Milo to a human foster family. Others wanted to send Rella away. Jonas worked hard. He collected proof, told stories of Milo's past, and spoke to the people. Slowly, some hearts began to change. One evening, a group of station residents gathered near Dock Gate 12. They stood with candles and signs that read, Family is love and no child alone. Rella watched from a distance. Her heart filled with hope and fear. She never wanted to be a troublemaker. She only wanted to protect Milo. Jonas came to her side. The people are beginning to see. We must keep trying. The council finally made a decision. Milo would stay with Jonas and Rella as temporary guardians. They would continue to investigate, but for now the child's best interest was most important. The news spread quickly. Relief and joy filled Milo's heart. He hugged Rella tightly. We are together, he said. The station slowly began to accept the unusual family. Some still whispered, but many showed kindness. Milo learned that family is not only about laws or rules. It is about love, trust, and standing together, even when others do not understand. Rella, Jonas, and Milo began to build a new life on the station. They walked together through markets, shared meals with new friends, and told stories under the stars. The divide was still there, but hope was stronger. And in the quiet moments, Milo knew he was not alone. The space station was quiet in the early morning light. Soft beams from distant stars lit the long corridors. Rella sat by the window, watching the endless sky. Milo played nearby, building towers with small blocks he had found in the station's playroom. Jonas read a data pad across the room, his face thoughtful but calm. For weeks, the council had been discussing what to do next. Many voices spoke for and against Rella's guardianship. Some feared the unknown. Others saw a chance for something new, a family that crossed the boundaries of species and star systems. One morning, Marin, the council leader, arrived at their quarters. His calm presence filled the room as he spoke with respect. "We have listened to many voices," he said. "The people of this station have shown compassion. The question now is not who should care for Milo, but how we can help this family grow together." Rella looked at Marin, hope shining in her eyes. Jonas nodded, understanding the weight of this moment. Milo ran to Marin and held out his small hand. "I want to stay with my mother and Jonas," he said simply. "I want to be safe and happy." Marin smiled gently. "That is important." The council had reached a decision. They would grant Rella full guardianship alongside Jonas. Milo would be allowed to live with both of them. Rella would become a recognized member of the station, with rights and protections. This was a new step, one that had never happened before on Vesa. It was a choice to embrace change, to see beyond species and laws, and to recognize the power of love and family. Jonas and Rella thanked Marin. Milo hugged them both tightly. For the first time in many years, he felt whole. Life on the station slowly settled into a new rhythm. Rella taught Milo about her homeworld and its beautiful skies. Jonas shared stories of human history and hopes for the future. Together, they faced small challenges, learning new customs, meeting curious neighbors, and sometimes dealing with questions and doubts. But each day, their bond grew stronger. One afternoon, Milo stood near Dock Gate 12. The place where no one had stopped to help a crying alien now held a new plaque. It read, "Here a heart called across the stars. A child was found and a family was born." Milo touched the plaque with a smile. He thought of the long journey of fear, hope, and love. He knew there would be more challenges ahead, but he was ready. Rella joined him. "You are brave, Milo," she said softly. "You teach us all what it means to be family." Jonas came close. "No matter what stars we come from, love makes us whole." The three stood together, looking out at the stars beyond the dock. The universe was vast and full of wonders, but here, in this small moment, they had found something rare and precious. They had found home. Life on the space station was slowly changing for Rella, Milo, and Jonas. The days were full of new experiences, challenges, and small victories. They learned to live together as a family in a world that was not quite like either of their homes. Milo was growing curious about the stars. He loved to ask questions and listen to stories about faraway places. Rella taught him about her people and the nebula that gave light to their world. Jonas shared tales about Earth and the history of humans. One morning, as the station's artificial sun rose, Milo woke early. He looked out the window, watching ships arrive and leave. His heart was full of dreams. "Mom," Milo said, calling Rella by the name he had chosen for her. "Can we visit Alara someday?" Rella smiled. "One day, Milo, when you are ready." Jonas joined them. "We will travel the stars together. There is much to see." Milo's eyes shone with excitement. "I want to learn everything." As weeks passed, they prepared for their journey. The council helped them arrange supplies and travel plans. It was a big step, one that meant facing unknown dangers but also great hope. On the day of departure, many people came to say goodbye. Friends they had made on the station gathered to offer gifts and wishes. Tico, Milo's alien friend, gave him a small crystal that glowed softly. "For light in dark places," Tico said. Marin, the council leader, shook Jonas's hand. "May your family find peace and happiness among the stars." Rella carried Milo close. "Thank you all. We will return with stories." The ship they boarded was small but strong. It was designed to travel safely through the nebula. The engines hummed as they left the station behind. Milo watched the stars stretch into lines as they moved faster than light. The journey was long, but the excitement kept him awake. One night, as they floated in the quiet ship, Milo asked, "Mom, what will we find on Alera?" Rella looked thoughtful. "We will find my home, your past, and a new future." Jonas nodded. "We will face it together." When they reached the glowing nebula, Milo gasped. Colors swirled around them, blues, purples, and pinks lighting the sky like a dream. The ship landed softly on Alera's surface. It was a quiet world with strange plants that shimmered and tall trees that sang in the wind. Rella led them to her village. The people were cautious at first. They watched the human boy with curiosity and respect. Milo felt nervous but brave. He wanted to belong. An elder stepped forward and smiled kindly. "Welcome, Rella. You have returned." The villagers shared stories of old times and new hopes. They accepted Milo as part of their world. Rella showed Milo the places she had loved. The glowing rivers, the quiet hills, and the stars that looked close enough to touch. Milo felt a deep peace. This was his other home. Jonas explored with them. He learned new customs and helped the villagers understand humans better. Bridges between worlds were building. One evening, as the three sat under the bright nebula sky, Milo said, "I am happy. I have 2 families now." Rella kissed his forehead. "And you have all the stars to guide you," Jonas smiled. "No matter where we go, we are together." The journey was only beginning. But Milo, Rella, and Jonas knew that with love and courage, they could face anything. They had found more than answers. They had found new beginnings. Life on Alera was peaceful, but new challenges were rising. The village welcomed Rella, Milo, and Jonas. But not everyone felt comfortable with a human child living among them. Some villagers whispered in quiet corners, unsure of change. Milo enjoyed exploring. The glowing plants and singing trees fascinated him. He learned to walk softly on the soft moss and to watch the stars that shone brighter than he had ever seen. Rella taught him the language of her people and the stories that shaped their lives. Jonas worked to build trust with the villagers. He shared stories about humans and their ways. He helped repair homes damaged by storms and showed kindness to everyone he met. But there was one who did not trust them. Taran, a village elder with dark eyes and a stern face. He believed that Milo's presence might bring danger. "We do not know what the stars carry," he said. "We must be careful." One evening, Taran called a meeting. Many villagers gathered, their faces filled with worry. "We must decide," Taran said. "Is this child truly one of us? Can we accept him and those who raised him?" Rella stood tall. "Milo is part of my family. He is kind and brave. He has shown respect for our home." Jonas added, "We come in peace. We want to help and learn. Together we can grow stronger." Milo spoke quietly. "I want to be part of this world. I want to learn and live in peace." The villagers listened, but fear lingered. They had seen storms that destroyed homes and dangers in the dark woods. They worried that Milo's arrival might bring trouble. That night, Milo could not sleep. He looked at the glowing sky and wondered what the future held. The next day, a sudden storm arrived. Dark clouds rolled over the hills and fierce winds shook the trees. The village prepared quickly, securing homes and helping the elderly. Rella, Jonas, and Milo worked alongside the villagers. Milo helped carry supplies. Jonas repaired broken beams. Rella calmed frightened children. The storm was strong and long. It knocked down trees and caused flooding. After hours of fear, it finally passed. The village was damaged, but no one was hurt. The people came together to rebuild. Taran approached Rella and Jonas. "You helped us when danger came," he said quietly. "Maybe we were wrong to fear. Maybe Milo belongs here." Rella smiled softly. "We all want safety and peace. Together we can protect this home," Jonas nodded. "We are stronger when we stand together." Milo felt hope growing in his heart. He looked at the villagers around him. They were tired but united. In the days that followed, the village repaired homes and cleaned the land. Milo and the children played together, laughing under the bright stars. The elder Taran watched from a distance. Slowly, his frown softened. He began to speak with Rella and Jonas, learning about their lives and hopes. One evening, as the village gathered for a festival, Taran stood beside Rella. "Thank you for bringing Milo here," he said. He has taught us courage and kindness. The festival was full of music, light, and stories. Milo danced with new friends, his heart full of joy. Rella and Jonas watched, proud and thankful. They had faced doubt and danger, but they had found acceptance. As the stars shone brightly above, Milo knew that this was home. A place of love, family, and new beginnings. The journey was far from over, but with hope and courage, they would face whatever came next. The peaceful life on Alara had settled into a gentle rhythm. Milo, Rella, and Jonas felt more connected to the village each day. The plants glowed softly in the evening light, and the stars seemed to shine just for them. Yet as the village grew stronger, new events were coming that would test their unity. One morning, while Milo was playing near the edge of the forest, he noticed something strange in the sky. A small ship, different from the usual vessels, was moving slowly toward the village. It glowed with a cold blue light. Milo's heart quickened as he ran back to the village. "Mom, Jonas, a ship is coming," Milo called, breathless. Rella and Jonas hurried to see. The ship was unlike any they had seen before. It did not carry the friendly hum of the local traders. Instead, it looked sharp and cold, like a blade cutting through the sky. The village gathered near the landing field, eyes wide with worry and curiosity. Terran stood among them, watching carefully. As the ship landed softly, its doors opened with a hiss. Figures stepped out, wearing dark suits with symbols none had seen before. One of the figures, taller and with a voice calm but firm, stepped forward. "We come in peace," the stranger said. "Our name is from a distant system called Zoran. We have heard of the child who crosses worlds. We seek to speak with him and his guardians." Milo stepped forward, holding Rella's hand tightly. "Why do you seek me?" he asked. The stranger looked at Milo with gentle eyes. "We have knowledge about your origins. We know where you come from and why you survived." Rella's eyes narrowed slightly. "What do you want from us?" The stranger smiled softly. "To help, but also to warn. There are dangers beyond what you know, forces that do not welcome change or peace." Jonas stepped beside Rella. "We will listen, but we will protect Milo and this village." The visitors explained that their world, Zoran, had been watching the nebula and the crash for many years. They knew about the Firebird ship and the pirates who attacked it. They offered help to keep Milo safe and to understand more about his past. Some villagers were unsure. Terran spoke again. "We must be careful. We do not want trouble brought to our home." Rella nodded. "We will decide together, but Milo's safety comes first." Over the next days, the Zoran visitors shared their knowledge. They showed holograms of distant worlds, maps of star systems, and records of the Firebird's last mission. Milo listened, fascinated, but also scared. He learned that his parents were part of a secret mission to find new homes for humans beyond their damaged world. The Firebird was attacked while carrying important information. The visitors offered new technology to protect the village and help Milo learn more about his heritage, but some in the village whispered their doubts. Was this help a gift or a trap? Could they trust these strangers? One night, Milo lay awake thinking about his journey. He knew that his path was not simple. There were shadows and light, danger and hope. Rella sat beside him. "We face many things, Milo, but we have each other. That is our greatest strength," Jonas joined them. "No matter where we come from, family is what makes us strong." The next day, a meeting was held with the villagers and the Zoran visitors. They spoke openly, asking questions and sharing fears. Slowly, trust began to build. The visitors helped repair the village's defenses and shared stories of their own worlds. Milo felt proud of his two families, one from Alara and one from Zoran. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if promising new adventures and new friends. Rella looked at Milo and smiled. "This is only the beginning." Jonas squeezed her hand. "Together we will face whatever comes." The village, once small and cautious, now stood ready to grow and protect the child who had crossed the stars. Milo, with his glowing eyes and brave heart, was no longer just a lost child at a dock. He was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of hope for all. With Koza's courage and Luma's light, he knew they could face any shadow the past or future might bring. Their story was still being written among the stars. The stars gleamed softly beyond the windows of Mira as the ship glided through the silent vastness of space. Rin sat at the control panel, his hands resting lightly on the console. Though the battles and dangers had lessened for a time, An uneasy feeling lingered in his chest. Koza stood nearby, her arms crossed and eyes fixed on the distant horizon. The quiet strength she carried was both comforting and mysterious. Luma floated in her usual place, glowing gently, her curiosity shining bright as always. Suddenly, the sensors beeped sharply. "Rin," Koza called. "There's something on the scanners." Rin quickly turned, studying the display. A ship. Not like the hunters. "It's different." Luma's voice was calm but alert. "I sense something unusual. It's not hostile, but it's watching us." Rin frowned, his mind racing. "Let's hail them. Find out who they are." The communication channel opened and a calm voice responded. "This is Commander Arel of the Star Guard. We've been monitoring your journey." Koza stepped forward, eyes narrowing. "Why are you following us?" Commander Arel's reply was steady. "We have an interest in the bioshell you carry. It is a key to balance in the galaxy. We offer assistance." Rin exchanged a glance with Koza. "Can we trust them?" Luma's voice was thoughtful. "We must be cautious, but this could be an opportunity." Koza nodded slowly. "Let's hear what they want." Commander Arel explained that the Star Guard was a group dedicated to protecting life across the stars. They had heard of the hunters and their dangerous quest. The Star Guard wished to help Rin, Koza, and Luma keep the bioshell safe. Rin felt a mix of hope and doubt. "Why now? Why help us?" Commander Arel answered, "Because the balance of power is shifting. The hunters' actions threaten more than just your group. They endanger the entire galaxy." Koza looked serious. "If this is true, we need allies." Rin spoke clearly. "We accept your help, but we will not lose our freedom." Commander Arel agreed. "Of course, partnership, not control." Over the next days, Mira and the Star Guard ship traveled together. Commander Arel's crew shared information and resources. Rin and Koza learned new tactics. Luma connected with the Star Guard's AI systems, growing stronger. The alliance brought hope, but also new challenges. Some Star Guard members were wary of the bioshell, fearing its power. Others admired Luma's spirit and wanted to understand her better. Rin often found himself mediating between the groups. "We must remember why we fight," he said. "To protect life and freedom." Koza nodded. "Trust is hard-won, but worth it." Luma smiled softly. "Together, we can do more." One evening, as the ships traveled near a bright nebula, the Star Guard sent an urgent message. "Hunters detected. Fleet approaching fast." Rin's heart tightened. "We must prepare for battle." Koza was ready. "This time we fight not just for ourselves, but for all who live in the galaxy." Luma's light glowed fiercely. "I will stand with you." The battle was fierce and fast. The hunters came with powerful ships and weapons. But this time, Rin, Koza, Luma, and the Star Guard fought as one. Mira darted through enemy fire, piloted by Koza's skilled hands. Rin coordinated attacks with the Star Guard fleet. Luma controlled the ship's defenses and hacked enemy systems. Together, they broke through the hunters' lines. The enemy ships were forced to retreat, unable to match the combined strength. When the last hunter ship fled into the darkness, the crews cheered quietly. They had won. After the battle, Commander Arel approached Rin. "You fought bravely. Your bond is strong." Rin smiled. "We fight for each other, for all who seek peace," Koza added. "This alliance is new, but it is our best chance." Luma's voice was soft. "I feel hope growing." The journey continued with new purpose. Rin, Koza, Luma, and the Star Guard traveled together, seeking knowledge, protecting secrets, and standing against danger. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and shadows, but together they faced the unknown. Rin looked out at the stars, feeling a deep peace. No longer alone, no longer just a human engineer waiting for a starship bride. Now a part of something greater. Together they would write their story among the stars.